First of all, how does it feel to be approaching your 80th year on Earth?
Mighty fine, you know. I think it's a blessing. I'm very fortunate, you know. It's, you really can't describe it.
Right.
There's so much you can say, you know, you just really no need to say it. Just say I'm happy to be here, I'm blessed and proud to be here.
Right.
I've learned a lot from my mom, my grandfather, her father, because I spent a lot of time with him when I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my time, because where we lived, my mom worked away from home.
Right.
She worked on the shipyard down in Mobile, and so we had to stay with my grandfather for a while, and then we had our own house, and she would come home every 2 weeks. But those was good times,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I learned a lot from my grandfather, a whole lot, because he was always with his friends. I was never with any kids. The only kid that lived close to me was about a mile. So we didn't see each other for about maybe once a month or every 3 months. So I spent a great deal of time with my grandfather. I guess that's why I learned a whole lot of stuff that a kid wouldn't learn. My dad worked day and night. He had 3 jobs.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see him really till on the weekend.
Oh, okay.
So just my mom and I was together. So that I picked up a lot of good stuff from her.
Right.
And my auntie, now I don't want to leave out my auntie, her sister,
Okay.
Mitty Dillon. She had children, but they were grown. And she didn't have one son. And they taught me a lot about respecting women, how to treat them, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's still with me today. And I used to go to the store. I had to go to the store every day because we didn't have a refrigerator, but we had an ice box.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't keep meat in an ice box.
Right.
So I had to go to the store every afternoon uptown to get meat. And I would always get a hamburger and a cup of ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd always ask my mom, can I have my ice cream and a hamburger? She said, yeah. So when my auntie came, my auntie and my mom, they were real tight. And my mom did everything to please her, regardless of what, because she knew she wasn't going to be staying there long, just maybe a couple of days.
Right.
And that day, I said, can I have my ice cream and hamburger today, Mom? She said, and then my auntie said, Gracie, she said, yeah, my mom. Then my auntie said, Gracie, you don't have to pay that boy to go to the store. And my mom said, well, you don't have to have it today, son. That really got to me, and I didn't speak to her for 20-some years.
Oh.
My auntie.
Really?
I was about.
How old were you?
I was about maybe 8 and a half, maybe. The next time I spoke to her, I was married and had kids. That's right. She messed up my hamburger. A lot of people give their kids a lot of things. And that's all. There's nothing wrong with giving them a lot of things, but you got to give them your time. You got to give them yourself. Because before Sandra, you were born, when I come home from work in the afternoon, my 2 boys be waiting for me. Have their toys and stuff in the floor, games. I get right in, we play, spending time together. I never missed when Michael, Steve was playing football. They think Michael was 10 when he started, Steve was 8. Never missed a practice, never missed a game.
Mm-hmm.
I was always with them, always cheering them on, always pulling for them. We could always discuss it afterward. That's quality time, you know. I know a lot of guys, when we was in Germany, I had a Volkswagen. And I'd leave work, go pick up Michael, his friends, take him back on the base, practice. I had so many boys in that Volkswagen, I couldn't even shift gears. I put the biggest boy in the middle, let him shift. Those boys' dad was in the club drinking.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't really bother me none, but it hurt his kids.
Right.
You know, I've had some of those people's kids to tell me they wish I was their dad.
Right.
You know. But I think you can give your kids a lot of things, but first thing you want to give them yourself and teach them responsibility. Teach them about life. And I think it'd be better.
Right.
So I've never had any problem with any one of mine. I mean, minor stuff,
Right.
but no major.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad was good to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, I never seen him when I was with him. Didn't see him that often on weekends. But he never refused me anything I asked for, and I guess that's why I alluded to the fact you may give a kid a lot of things,
Right.
but you don't give them yourself. But I was the kind of guy that I had my mom, and I had been with her all the time. See, my dad never hit me, never spanked me, and everything I asked him for, he gave it to me. And I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Come on. And a little kid.
Right.
So he didn't give me his time. I played a lot of baseball. My dad has never seen me play baseball.
No? I didn't
Never.
know that.
Not once. Not once. His thing was working, making, and saving money.
Mm-hmm.
And he always told me, I'm working for you, son. Because he always asked what I want to be when I grow up. I used to say, I'm a doctor, a lawyer. And he run all over town telling people, my boy going to be a doctor, maybe a lawyer, whatever. And he was saving that money. He was saving that money. And sometimes I feel bad my dad's passed and gone. But the position he was in when he died, it kind of makes me feel bad. Because I knew what he did and what he was doing for me. But after I left home, he gave it up.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. My dad came home in 1942. And in 1947, he owned 7 houses and had $10,000 in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And as little as I was, I used to go collect the rent. That's what he had me doing.
Mm-hmm.
But he was doing it, he was working 3 jobs.
Right.
So he was doing all that for me. I say because wasn't nobody home but me.
Mm-hmm.
Others was gone. So, and then when I left, first thing he did, went and bought him a brand new car. I guess he said, well, you don't want it, I guess I'll use it. So that's cool, but
Right.
he did, when he died, he just had 1 house left. That was cool. But I'm sure I contributed some of his, I wouldn't call it a downfall, but just started living his life, which he was living it before for me. That's what he said. But that's how he acted.
Right.
People's come from pretty good ways just to be here for this occasion, which I appreciate very much. Maybe they just want to see, am I still walking or ain't nobody beat me in or beat me up across my mouth,
Yes.
But my brother had been working with this guy, working for these people for years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got to a point in my life when I didn't want to follow the rules anymore,
How old were you?
15,
Oh, okay.
when I left home.
Mm-hmm.
Left my mom's house
Okay.
because I was living with her. My dad lived in another place.
Right. Oh, okay.
So I lied to her and told her, well, I didn't lie to her, I just left. And one night, because I had got in a problem at school with a math teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't go there anymore. I could have, but not under the condition that he and I had a problem with. So I left and went to my dad's house, which was 40 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a Wednesday, I remember, because when I got there, he wanted to know why I wasn't in school, why I leave. I told him I was out for the week.
Mm-hmm. You told your dad that.
Right. So he said, when I was going back, I said, Sunday night. So Monday morning, I didn't go Sunday night, so he always went to work about like 4 o'clock in the morning. When he got back, I was still there that Monday. Then he wanted to know why I was still there. And I said, I want to stay a couple more days. He said, I know you're lying. He said, I know you're lying. He said, I tell you what you do. You go on up to Hale County Training School and tell Professor Fred, because they went to school together, he knew him, that we'll get your record down. You just go up there and tell him I sent you on up there. So instead of going up there, I went to my brother's house. That was another 10 miles away. Told my brother what's happening. He agreed with me because I guess he wanted me to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I worked with this white guy. with my brother. And I did accomplish getting the GED because that wasn't no problem. Then the white guy one day, after about a year, 2 years, I was 17, coming pretty close to 18. And he told me one day, he said, come on, go down in the woods with me. And I didn't know what the hell was going on there for, but I went. And when we got down there, he told me, he says, you are too intelligent to be on this farm. You need to get away from here. In fact, you need to leave Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
And so I suggest you go in the United States Air Force, because I was in the Air Force and he was a pilot.
Right.
He said, that would be best for you. And that's how I got in. Looking for a job.
Right.
Couldn't find one. Took a little old course on something. That didn't pan out. And I had 90 days to stay out before I can retain rank and get my bonus back. The 89th day, I left Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Told my wife I'm going back to Springfield, Massachusetts, because that's where I got out at. So I knew I could get back in there with no problem. And I drove all the way through Canada, New York, Connecticut, and Massachusetts in one day.
In one day?
One day. I went all the way to Buffalo, New York, and never stopped for a light. That was lucky. I got there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to the recruiting office, and he was locking the door. And I said, hey, man, hold on, I want to re-enlist. He said, I can't get back in. I said, it's my last day, man. I got to get back. He said, well, be here in the morning, and I'll backdate your papers. 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And he did. Got my rank back. The guy gave me $1,500. And I didn't know nothing else till I did 21 years in the military.
21 years.
Told my wife when I got back, when I re-enlisted, I'm not going to get out and I'm going to make the military pay me the rest of my life because I can't get a job. I thought I deserved a job.
Right.
Because I went in during the Korean War and I was naive thinking that's because I was a veteran I should get something, but that's not how it worked.
Right.
So it kind of made me mad. But that's okay. They still paying. Still paying.
I've often heard you say, that in your prayers, you say, I pray that the good Lord let me see such and such. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my grandkids
Right.
get grown and they don't, say go to college and graduate from college. That's one of the big things that I would love to, for the good Lord to let me accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my oldest son, which is Michael, he have 2 grown sons already, so I've seen that progress, and they're doing good.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, he has a son doing real good. Now I understand his daughter's working. His middle son, who is young, he got 3 children. He was going in the military, but he's going back to school.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
You have one child that's already in college. Then you have a 13-year-old and an 8. So I would love to see their progress.
Right.
At the end of their education. Education never ends, but college.
Right.
And what they're going to be, and what they're going to, the career that they would take.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to just to be around to see that. Because I want the best for them, and education is the best.
Right.
But you have to have, that's essential.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want that for them, and they all heading in that direction. Mm-hmm. I want to see the finish. So I just want to live and be happy with what I got, enjoy what I got, help people any way I can. That's good. Just helping people sometimes will help you.
Right.
And I have said that many times, so I'm serious about that.
Mm-hmm.
Just helping people. I don't care nothing about material stuff. I got everything I want, everything I need. Period.
Right.
And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying I've been blessed.
Mm-hmm.
The good Lord's still blessing me. He can bless me with the mind to say, I don't need these things.
Right. And I think that's a gradual progression of growth.
Right.
Mm-hmm.